Hey friend, so how's your summer going? Are you getting ready to go on vacation? Or maybe you're on vacation right now. In that case, why exactly are you listening to this podcast? Just kidding. I don't care where you listen, just as long as you listen. Actually, this particular episode was inspired by a mini vacation that I went on to Palm Springs in the spring. It was hot. Not record-breaking 126-degree weather hot like it was over the 4th of July weekend, but I think it was like in the 90s. It was still hot. Hot enough that I had trouble sleeping. If you're in menopause, postmenopause, or even perimenopause, maybe you can relate. Hormonal changes in our 40s and 50s can cause insomnia and contribute to sleeping problems in and of themselves. But when you add summer into the mix, good luck catching all the beauty Z's we need. Believe it or not, summer can actually affect the quality and duration of our sleep. And speaking from personal experience, nothing can derail a summer vacay faster than a couple of sleepless nights mixed with some scorching temps. Been there, got the t-shirt, do not wish to return. Today, I am continuing my Hot Flash Summer podcast series on how to beat the heat and keep your hormones in check so you can live your best hot girl summer. In the hot seat today, sleep. Join me in this episode as I unpack why sleep is important for our hormones, the connection between summer, sleep, and hormones, specifically in menopausal and postmenopausal women. Is your sleep position the reason you can't sleep at night? And what is the best sleep position for women in midlife? Plus, I'll share my 4 favorite tips for getting a good night's sleep on summer vacation and all summer long. So hold on to your melatonin because help is on the way. And I'll be back with my prescription for better summer sleep in less than 90 seconds. Welcome to Are You There Midlife? It's me, Monica. Hi, I'm Monica Topetti, wife, mom, health coach, and hormone imbalance survivor. And I'm on a mission to help women in midlife balance hormones naturally without drugs, doctors, or divorce. Are you tired of dealing with heavy, painful periods that look like a crime scene? Are you sick of struggling with anxiety, fatigue, or brain fog that... What was I just saying? Are you frustrated doing all the things to lose weight but still packing on pounds faster than a real housewife changes Birkins? Girl, you are in the right place. Join me each week as I spill the tea on what to expect in perimenopause and beyond. From IBS to insomnia, bloating to funky body odor, I'll unpack all the weird stuff happening inside our midlife bodies, plus give you the latest science and holistic solutions to manage it all. So ditch the Spanx and hop on board the Hot Mess Express. Let's do this. Hey, beautiful. Welcome back to the show. So as I mentioned before the intro, today's episode is all about getting better sleep this summer. If you're in perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, chances are you are already dealing with some type of sleep issue, like insomnia, night waking, or restless sleeping. To begin with, women are 40% more likely to experience insomnia as men. This is at any age. And according to a study by WellFem, up to 60% of all women experience sleep disturbances at some point during the menopausal transition. 60%. That means 1 in 6 of us have good reason to be tired, cranky, and unable to focus most of the time. But things really go from bad to worse when spring turns into summer, because the change in seasons can actually affect our sleep even more. So how exactly does summer impact sleep in midlife? The first way summer affects our sleep has to do with light exposure. Light exposure in the evening and light exposure in the morning. Let me explain. So during the summer months, days are longer, meaning we are exposed to more daylight as opposed to other seasons like winter, fall, or even spring. It's this exposure to long summer solstice days that can affect the production of important sleep-wake hormones like melatonin. Later sunsets, some of which can happen well past 9 p.m. in certain parts of the country and past midnight in Alaska, may actually impact our sleep-wake cycle and circadian rhythms by delaying the secretion of melatonin that tells our brain it's time to sleep. So, getting more light outdoors during the summer may actually trick our brains into thinking it's still daytime, push our circadian rhythms back, and cause us to go to bed and wake up later during the summer, which means we get less sleep overall. In addition, this exposure to light later in the day can actually make it harder for us to stay asleep at night, because the longer we're exposed to daylight, the longer our body thinks it's time to stay awake. Lastly, have you noticed the sun rising a lot earlier in the morning in the summer months? Well, that's thanks to daylight savings time, which begins in the U.S. in mid-March and ends around the first week of November. And any light that manages to seep through the cracks in your blinds or drapes in the morning can also cause us to wake up too early. The second way summer affects our sleep has to do with the warmer temps. Hello, hot flashes and night sweats. Now, heat and humidity can make it especially hard to fall asleep and stay asleep in summer months. To begin with, as women, our bodies tend to cool down more slowly than men's in the evening. So we are actually experiencing hotter temperatures when we go to bed at night than our partner lying next to us. Secondly, as we age, our bodies naturally produce less melatonin, which makes it harder for women and men to regulate body temperature. But as women, we also have decreasing estrogen to contend with, and that starts around perimenopause. And as you may have experienced, decreasing estrogen can result in vasomotor symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats. Now, if you haven't listened to episode 23 about how to beat the heat and cool menopausal hot flashes, I'll make sure to link that one in the show notes. Since as many as 80% of all women going through perimenopause or menopause experience hot flashes or night sweats or both, the summer heat can only exacerbate these symptoms, making it harder than ever to get a good night's sleep. The third way summer affects our sleep is the impact it has on our hormones. Did you know that seasonality can actually affect our hormones? Yeah, just like the phases in our menstrual cycle, the cycles or seasons of the year can impact our hormone production and our hormone balance. Specifically, very hot weather can induce a stress response in our body, which increases our cortisol levels. Increased cortisol can then suppress our melatonin secretion. Remember, I talked a little bit about that when I was explaining how light exposure affects our sleep? Well, it's this same decrease in melatonin that can lead to a slew of sleeping problems, including elevated arousal levels at bedtime, insomnia, fragmented sleep, difficulty getting restorative sleep, sleep loss, and even full-blown sleep disorders like chronic insomnia and obstructive sleep apnea. And just as seasonality can affect our hormones, a disturbance in our sleep can also affect the production of several of our other hormones, including HGH, which prevents a drop in blood glucose, insulin, which prevents fat storage, and leptin and ghrelin, which affects our appetite. Simply put, when we are dealing with poor sleep quality or short sleep duration, that can impact our hormone levels, how our hormones are produced, and how they interact with each other. And all of this can lead to hormone imbalance. Oh boy. So, now that we understand how summer can impact our sleep, what are some things we can do to improve our sleep naturally while on vacation? There's actually a lot we can do to get our beauty Z's without drugs and without having a lot of control of our environment, which is usually the case when we're away on vacation. In just a minute, I'm going to share with you my 4 favorite tips you can start implementing on your next vacation or even at home. But first, I want to ask you one question. Do you understand exactly what's going on with you and your hormones? Yeah, okay. What I'm talking about is all those doctor visits that you've had in the last year or so, the blood tests, the online research you've done. Did you finally get the clarity that you needed to get back to feeling like you again? Or what about the money? Like, for all of the money you've invested in insurance copays and out-of-pocket specialists and at-home tests and supplements and prescriptions, for all the time you've spent scrolling on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, following countless doctors and trainers and nutritionists and coaches and health influencers, are you any closer to understanding the root cause of your hormone imbalance? Or what about an actual plan for dealing with your hormonal symptoms, like insomnia, hot flashes, night sweats, fatigue, irritability, brain fog, or maybe just unwanted weight gain? If your answer is no, then do me a favor. Click the link in my show notes that says, "Take my free hormone quiz." Now, this quiz uses something called hormone symptom profiling, and it evaluates your age, your menstrual cycle, and your symptoms for 7 of the most common hormonal imbalances in perimenopause through postmenopause. It's quick, it's super easy, and it's scary accurate. And it's going to give you the clarity you need to finally understand which of your hormones are out of whack so you can begin to balance them naturally. Okay, so before I go, I promised you that I was going to share with you my top 4 tips for getting a good night's sleep on your summer vacay. So here we go. Tip number 1. Now, I've already explained the importance of managing our light exposure in terms of getting better sleep. And my favorite way to do that is with a sleep mask. I actually just bought one of these recently because my bedroom window faces the sunrise in the morning, and it is so bright that it peeks through my blinds, little crevices in my blinds, and it wakes me up way too early. Now, there's nothing revolutionary about sleep masks. You can find them pretty much anywhere you shop. Amazon, CVS, supermarts like Walmart. But you know me, I did my research. And I especially like the one that I bought for a few reasons. First off, it's made from cotton on the inside, and then it's got this soft linen on the outside, so it's super breathable. Really important when you're trying to sleep. It also has a nose bridge, which a lot of masks don't have. And this is important because not only does it make it feel very comfortable on my face, but there's no gaps, so it really blocks out the light. I also like the fact that it has an elastic strap so I can adjust the fit to my face perfectly. I have kind of a smaller head, and so a lot of times I'll try and buy hats and things like that, and they just don't fit because they are made for a normal size head, not a little tiny pinhead like me. And so I love the fact that I can, anytime I can adjust something with the strap. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And the other thing that I really liked is the one that I found has these lavender flowers like infused into the mask. As far as natural scents go, I happen to really love lavender, so that's a plus. But from an aromatherapy perspective, lavender actually has a calming effect on the nervous system, and that encourages deep sleep as well as relaxation. So if you're interested in checking out the sleep mask that I've recommended, that I bought, just click the link in the show notes and you will get a small discount if you decide to buy, just because you're a listener of the podcast. Okay, tip number 2 is to check your body's sleep position. Check your body's sleep position. Did you know that certain body positions are ideal for keeping cool and getting better sleep at night, especially in the summer? That's crazy, right? Yeah. So the first sleep position that is ideal for getting the best sleep is sleeping on your side. And this is good because it actually allows more air to reach your body and for more heat to escape. I'm actually naturally a side sleeper, so I love the fact that this is an ideal position. And I've actually tried when I can't fall asleep or I wake up and for some reason I can't fall asleep, before I take any kind of supplement or anything like that, I'll try this secondary body position. And the secondary body position is known as the starfish position. So you're basically sleeping with your arms and your legs stretched out. So your arms kind of above your head or to the side, and your legs kind of separated and stretched out. And ideally with your hands and your feet hanging outside of your covers. This sleep position is really good because it actually increases your overall surface area of the body. And that allows for sweat to evaporate, which actually cools you down faster. So body position is tip number 2. My third tip for improving your sleep during summer vacation is exercise. But not just any exercise. It's got to be resistance training or strength training. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have access to a gym or weights on my vacation? Followed by, but I walk a lot on my vacations. Does that count? Followed by, but it's my vacation. Do I really have to work out? Okay, I'm actually going to devote an entire future episode on how to maintain some semblance of a health routine on vacation, so your hormones don't completely get out of control. But for purposes of this episode, I'll say this. Number 1, you don't need access to a fancy gym or even a set of dumbbells. All you need is a few lightweight rubber bands that you can easily pack in your suitcase, or even just body weight. That's all you need for a resistance training workout. Number 2, walking, cardio, is great. It's great for your heart. It's great for your bones, even your hormones overall. But according to research, it doesn't produce the same benefits for sleep as resistance training does. There are multiple studies that point to the superiority of resistance training over cardio in improving mental health and heart health, both of which can affect sleep quality. One particular study out of Iowa State University suggests that since resistance training stresses muscle tissue, it might send a signal to the brain that sleep is needed to repair the damage. Another study suggests that resistance training increases the hormone adenosine, which helps promote sleep. So the more exercise, the easier it is for us to doze off. Number 3, I'm not talking about working out a lot here. I'm talking 2-3 times per week for about 30 minutes or more if you'd like. And what type of exercises are best? Generally speaking, a combination of upper and lower body exercises or a full body workout targeting all of the major muscle groups in the body is ideal. And if you've got some flexibility in your schedule, exercise in the evening actually tends to help you sleep a little bit better than workouts in the morning. Okay, my 4th and final tip for improving your sleep during the summer, especially on summer vacation, is glycine. This is my better sleep secret weapon. Now, there are a lot of supplements on the market promising you better sleep. Am I right? Yeah. Some work, most don't. And of the ones that do work, a lot of whether a supplement works for you depends on your unique body chemistry or bioindividuality. But if you're one of those people who can fall asleep okay, but then wakes up in the middle of the night and no amount of counting anything or box breathing will lull you back to sleep, glycine is your e-ticket to sleep. Okay, I think I just aged myself. Well, actually, we're all the same age, so it's all good. Anyway, I take about 1 to 2 of these supplements whenever I wake up in the middle of the night and I just can't shut my mind off. And girl, I am telling you, within 30 minutes or so, I am sleeping like a baby. Glycine works by lowering your core body temperature. And that simply makes it easier to drift off and stay asleep. So there you go. Everything you need to get a good night's sleep and slay your summer vacay. Next week, we'll jump into our next hot topic this summer, summer anxiety. Yeah, it's a thing. It's not really talked about, but the hot temperatures of summer can actually increase our cortisol levels and tank our mental health. We're going to discuss how to spot the signs and what you can do about it, including how to tell if you have something called summer onset seasonal affective disorder. If you have a tendency to get anxious or depressed in the summer, you will not want to miss this episode. Until then, hashtag can't sleep, hashtag sleeping beauty, hashtag hot girl summer. Hey friend! Can I call you friend? Because I already feel like we're friends in my head. Did this podcast teach you something, make you laugh, or feel less like an alien? If so, I would be so incredibly grateful if you could take just 60 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe. That is the #1 way you can thank me and support the show. Until next week, stay cool and keep away from sharp objects.